Here's how much it costs to own a helicopter. This is the world's smallest and cheapest helicopter in the world. When I say that, there's a few caveats. One, this is the smallest non-experimental helicopter, meaning this is a manufactured from the factory helicopter. It can do all kinds of work, charter, commercial, whereas experimental helicopters cannot. So in this video today, I'm gonna talk about everything related to this helicopter, how much it costs to operate, how you can own one, what it took to get my licenses, so on and so forth. So yes, this helicopter is incredibly small. Look how small the frames are. This is my hand. Tail boom, very small. Those are the main rotor blades. Let's go back here to the tail rotor blades. I mean, I can fit my whole hand across the tail rotor blades. It's crazy. So how much room is there in the smallest helicopter in the world? Well, it's actually not too bad. Obviously, this is a two-seater, so there's somebody else sits right there. I mean, it is very tight. Like my arms, when I close the door, my arm is like right up against there. This is how much room you have if you're the passenger. So a decent amount. So I'm 6 foot. If you're 6'2" and above, your head will be touching. Even sometimes with my headphones on, it'll hit the roof. So if you are too tall and your torso is like long, you may have a problem. But again, I'm 6 foot. I can comfortably sit in here. So there actually is plenty of room in the world's smallest helicopter. But if you are full of fuel and you have 2 passengers who weigh 200, 250 pounds, sometimes you'll be on the edge of that weight and balance, which you can be up to a certain amount, but not over. Right now I'm taking the doors off of the helicopter because it's very nice out. And this helicopter has no AC. One of the disadvantages with buying one of the cheapest and smallest aircraft is you gotta save weight any way you can. And on this helicopter, they didn't want to add AC. It's not even an option you can get. So my AC is taking the doors off, otherwise you'll be very hot. The cotter pins are off. Just open it, lift up. There we go. These helicopters cost about $60,000 to $350,000. Yes, that's a huge gap, but I can explain why. One huge advantage to Robinson helicopters, that being the R-22, the 44, and the 66, is all the components are due at one time, 2,200 hours. So basically you have until 2,200 hours of flight time, then you have to replace everything. So using that number, you can say that every hour I fly, I know exactly how much money I'm spending. The number on this helicopter is $63 an hour. Every time you fly, you lose $63 between the parts and the engine depreciation. So right now, the rental of an R-22 helicopter, this helicopter is about $350 per hour of flight time. The R-44, the bigger sister, which is the 4-seater, is about $700. That's a lot of money. That's why a lot of student pilots are buying helicopters to build time. I pay $8,900 on insurance a year, which comes out to be about $750 per month. That covers hull, damage to the helicopter, and liability as well. Insurance rates can change depending on the price of the helicopter, how much the hull value is, and your experience as a pilot. St. Charles traffic, helicopter 539 Sierra Tells. Making a direct departure from the pad to the southwest. Will be no factor for the traffic on final St. Charles. The nice thing about a helicopter is you can just like take off wherever you are. I'm opting to take off into the wind, which is always the safe thing to do. There's the power lines right below me, and then once I pass the power lines, I'll get some more airspeed. So this helicopter burns about 8.5 gallons per hour I fly. Avgas costs $6 per gallon, which comes out to a cost of about $50 every time I fly in fuel cost. $50 an hour you fly is a lot of money in gas, but you gotta understand this is a high performance engine and you're also flying. There's a lot of little details I'm leaving out of owning a helicopter, but just for the sake of time, I'm just kind of naming the most important things. So in order to fly a helicopter like this, all you need is a private pilot's license. It has to be helicopter, of course. So yeah, all you need is a private pilot's license in order to own a helicopter, and you can fly it from your house if you want to. Now there's a lot of stipulations with that I wouldn't really advise on, but for the most part, it is true. I pay $200 per month to store my helicopter in a hangar, and the reason my rate is pretty low is because I share with a bunch of different pilots. There's also a few things like the annual and pre-purchase inspections. I'll add a few $1,000s in there because there are miscellaneous stuff that come up with the helicopter that you end up having to do. For instance, there's a service bulletin that turned into an airworthiness directive, which means you have to replace it. And that is on the tail rotors of most Robinson helicopters, and that's going to cost some money. One quick thing I'm going to mention, because I really haven't seen this put anywhere else on the internet, is on some helicopters, because of inflation, yes, if you fly 100 hours, your helicopter technically depreciates. But because of inflation and appreciations, sometimes if you don't fly a lot, you can sell the helicopter for more than you bought it for, or maybe even the same price that you bought it for. All right, since I'm talking so much about helicopters, let's just go do something that only helicopters can do. All right, we're coming into our spot here. I know it's kind of hard to see.
As I was editing this video, I realized that I actually never talked about how long it took to get my license and how much it cost, so here you go. In the United States, in order to fly this helicopter, you need a private pilot helicopter license, which will take you anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on how often you're able to fly and study. The cost varies from flight school to flight school, but I would say around $15,000 to $25,000 is what you can expect to pay in order to get your private pilot's license.
All right, here we are on the river. Just kind of touched down here. This is one of the cool things about helicopters. You can just get out to the middle of nowhere, no one around you, no one can get to you, and you can just chill. So me personally, I have a commercial helicopter pilot's license and an instrument. What that means is I can technically fly in the clouds if I had a helicopter that was IFR certified. This helicopter is not, so I can't do that. So here's a quick example. I'm on an island that's surrounded by water. Only way to get here is by boat or helicopter. And yes, this isn't the most remote spot in the world, but the point is you can get to the most remote spots in the world because you have a helicopter. So that's just how special they are and what they can do. So the numbers that I talked about today, I'm gonna leave up on screen so you guys can see. So those are the real and raw costs of owning a helicopter, but more importantly, this is relative to the smallest and cheapest helicopter in the world. So yes, it's expensive to own one of the smallest and cheapest helicopters in the world, but it is worth it if you're doing commercial work or something like that. For me, it's worth it because I'm building time as a professional pilot, and right now it's the cheapest way to do so. The R-22 is a great platform to be a professional pilot or a private pilot as long as you have the proper training. This helicopter can do a lot of things that other helicopters can't do, especially for the price. Traffic Helicopter 939 Stuart Dallas, going to be turning right base to final parallel to 18 in the grass, St. Charles.
Traffic 19727, 4 miles to the southeast of the airfield, inbound, full stop on 18.
Details traffic, Helicopter 939 Stuart, short final 18 St. Charles. St. Charles traffic, Helicopter 939 Stuart, full stop, clear of all active ways for Skylink, St. Charles.